GPS signal lost.
Sorry.
Beautiful Saturday here in Columbus, Ohio, in the United States of America. Saturday, the 12th of April, 2025. We are live from the studio of Apex One Radio, situated at the northern belt of the city of Columbus. Thank you so much if you're just joining us. Welcome to this first segment of broadcast this beautiful Saturday. My name is Ernest. Kanjo. Marcel Adig is producing this segment of broadcast from Waldshut in Germany. And of course, the entire Apex One radio team is monitoring this edition of the show. We are on with another edition of Apex Snapshots, which will be yours. Do not go away. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to the program. Today, we are receiving a very special person. He's been in the studio of Apex One Radio a couple of times previously, but then Dr. Bartholomew Shepkong comes back in a different capacity on radio today, a capacity which you will be learning about in a very short while. Without much ado, let us say welcome to our guest in the studio. Dr. Bath, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am good. Thank you so much for joining us on radio today. So, how was the week?
Well, it was an eventful week, but it's been a great week, and I'm glad to be here today.
All right, that's interesting. Once again, thank you so much for joining us on radio today.
Thank you.
You are the president of the Ohio African Chamber of Commerce, correct?
Yes, sir.
Right. I know we've talked about that on radio.
Yes.
How is that structure doing?
Yeah, it's going great. Just like any other organization that you're just starting from the ground up, it requires a lot of strategic planning and making sure that everything is going as planned. So far, so good. So far, so good.
So far, so good. We
Yeah.
know the Ohio African Chamber of Commerce has been around it's almost getting to a year now, correct?
Yeah, I mean, it was organized, it was registered in 2022, and we just had the official launch, I think, the summer of last year. Right. So officially, it's about a year now, but it has been in existence since 2022.
Right.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And when you look at how things are going, are there any prospects for success?
Absolutely. I mean, there's huge potential, huge prospects for growth. I mean, and success. Absolutely, 100%.
Right. You also happen to be the co-founder and one of the leaders of the Columbus African Festival. We haven't heard much about it as far as the 2025 edition is concerned. Is it holding this year?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's happening this year, July 26, 27, at usual Genoa Park, July 26, 27, from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and same time, just as last year, and the same place. So planning is in top gear at the moment, and yeah, it's happening in July.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
that's interesting. What accounts for this consistency? I know since the festival started, you haven't taken a break, except perhaps the year we
had COVID. Yeah.
the COVID year.
Yes,
but
sir.
since then, it's been ongoing. So, what accounts for this consistency?
Well, I mean, it's part of it is the passion we have for what we do. It's not just me. You have a lot of people behind the scenes that are making things happen. And I'm just gonna go back. You said, "Oh, we haven't heard about it this year." Actually, what we've been doing since the beginning of the year, leading to the festival, is we've been having some what we call activation events.
Mhm.
So as a matter of fact, last night we had a taste of Africa around downtown from 6 to 10 p.m. and it was a huge success. We had about 400 people that showed up, last night. So going back to your question, what accounts to this success is some of these things that we do. You know, you look at it, starting from January leading to the festival. There's so many things that we put in place, and that gives you the joy, that gives you the energy and the conviction to keep doing what you're doing.
Mhm.
And one most important thing is the passion and the passion we have for our culture, the African culture. We're not just showcasing African culture, but at the same time, it's also an opportunity, to open doors for most of these small African businesses like vendors to come and showcase
Mhm.
their products, and basically that's it.
Beautiful. His name is Dr. Bartholomew Shepkong. He is the co-founder and president of the Columbus African Festival, which has been around for a couple of years now. He doubles as the president of the Ohio African Chamber of Commerce. But recently, he's just put on a new cap. On his head, he is the chair of the newly created Columbus Commission on Immigrant and Refugee Affairs, which saw the light of day officially this Monday, April the 7th. The oath taking ceremony took place at the Columbus City Council amidst cheers from the public, and of course the Columbus City authorities, who were quite proud of that distance covered by the immigrant population here in central Ohio. And so that's what has brought us on radio today. We'll be talking about this newly created uh, commission,
Absolutely.
and he will be telling us more about that in this special edition of Apex Snapshots, just on Apex One Radio. If you are just joining us once again, thank you so much and welcome on board. Marcel Adig is producing this show from Varsut in Germany, and of course, the entire Apex One radio team is making sure that this edition runs as planned. And so the city of Columbus has been celebrated not only as the state's capital, but as a true melting pot of cultures,
Mhm.
known for its cosmopolitan charm and warm, welcoming spirit. Columbus is home for immigrants from all corners of the globe, enriching the city through education, through business, healthcare, entertainment, sports, and what have you. The dynamic diversity of Columbus calls for purposeful leadership, and that is where the Columbus Commission on Immigrants and Refugee Affairs comes in. Officially launched on Monday, April the 7th this year, this 14-member commission represents nations as far-reaching as India, Pakistan, Nigeria, Kenya, Somalia, Mexico, Liberia, and Haiti. Now, what is this commission about? How will it champion the needs of the immigrant community in Central Ohio? What role will its members play in shaping the future of this vibrant city called Columbus? And like we said, the president of or the chair of that commission, Dr. Bath, is right here with us in the studio to provide answers to these and more questions. Once again, Dr. Bath, you're welcome.
Thank you for having me.
So, explain where the idea of a Columbus Commission on Immigrant and Refugee Affairs came about. Whose idea was it?
We give that. We give that. credit to the city councilwoman, Louders, the Barroso, Loudest Barroso de Padilla is a city council. I think she's representing District 8, I believe. And and being a daughter of immigrants, I think she realized the strength and the power of immigrants in not just in Central Ohio, but in the entire Ohio and if possible the entire country. So, being a daughter of immigrants, she looked at the dynamic and the dynamics of what immigrants normally bring to the table, and that was how the idea came up. I think 2 years ago, uh, her office and the School of Social Work at OSU came up with a study, to look at what exactly is what are the needs of immigrants in Central Ohio.
Okay.
Yeah. So, in a nutshell, it took a long time, months, for this study to be accomplished, to be concluded, and at the end of it all, I think towards the end of last year, the findings were shared with the public, and one of the key recommendations was the need for an immigrant and refugee commission. And so kudos to the city council, and they took that to heart, and for you realize we're where we are today. The ball was set in motion by the city council woman, and here we are.
That makes a lot of sense, but I would like to know how what went on backstage. How were people mobilized, to turn this dream into reality?
Yeah. So during the study period, or should I mean, I call it a research period. There were a lot of community hearings, and where they organize meetings to hear from people from different parts of the world, immigrants. I think they had about five of those,
Okay.
meetings quarterly, I believe, and they gathered all this information. It's part of research, right? So after that was done, I think people from all over were really encouraged, and especially the community leaders in all this immigrant community. I can tell you that I was one of those people that was part of the study, and yes, I also happened to be a panelist on the day that the report was shared.
Okay.
So going back to your question, people from all walks of life, people from all over, immigrants and refugee communities were highly involved, to to be part, and they came up with this recommendation, and as I said earlier, we're where we are today. Yeah.
One would suspect that this commission is emerging at this time, perhaps because of the current politically ambiguous situation that is affecting the immigrant population. Otherwise, why is it that it's coming just at this time?
No, I think it's just fate. No one knew that. Again, as I said, the ball was set in motion about 2 years ago. So I don't think the councilwoman or the city council envisaged that something like this will happen or will be where we are today. So I mean, everything happened for a reason. So for me, I think it so happened that, okay, this is what is going on in our country at the moment, and I mean, it just comes in at the right time. So they didn't know it was not something that was done in a rush. It's not because of what is going on currently in the country. No, again, it started about 2 years ago.
That commission saw the light of day this week, precisely on Monday, April the 5th. Its members were commissioned at the Columbus City Council, and we have its president right here with us in the studio. Dr. Bath will share more information about how this commission intends to get itself properly implanted into the community and what its mission will look like. If you're just joining us, this is Apex One Radio. We are live from the United States of America. Welcome on board. It's exactly 14 minutes to 1 here in the studio. Before we come back to that commission, Dr. Bath,
Yes, sir.
I would like you to share some insights on the immigrant population in Central Ohio, so we know exactly what community we are talking about. I do not know if you or your commission is following up with statistics, but I
Mhm.
also believe that they are available. If census have been conducted, how many immigrants live in Columbus?
I cannot give
What
you a
is
I cannot give you
I know it's a
a
difficult question.
yeah, I cannot give you a specific number, but as I
Estimation.
said, yeah, wow, how many immigrants? Based one, I think 10 out of that's when you it's very difficult to estimate,
Mhm.
to be honest, and I don't want to, but I know we have a huge population of immigrants.
And do you think that is also going to be one of your assignments, maybe to
Absolutely,
start census,
absolutely,
so we have
absolutely
statistics?
clear census. I mean,
Mhm.
if you're looking at, you don't want to go back to maybe the census or the information that was done, or the census that was done in maybe the data that you got maybe in the 90s and
Mhm.
the early 2000s and the mid 2000s.
Mhm.
The demographic is changing every day.
Mhm.
And anywhere you turn, in central Ohio, you see a lot of immigrants,
Mhm.
not from all walks of life, all parts of the world, So that is one of the things that we're definitely gonna, to have a good, number or good statistics of how many
Right.
immigrants we have in central Ohio,
Right.
you know.
So in your off-taking address,
Yes, sir.
you mentioned that in Ohio, immigrants represent over 17% of entrepreneurs
Entrepreneurs,
and
yes.
contribute billions annually in taxes and
Absolutely.
spending power. What kind of businesses do immigrants in Columbus typically do?
Oh yeah, I mean, all you go down the street, you're looking at grocery stores, you look at the African professionals, so immigrant professionals, you know, people are, running home health cares, people are having their restaurants, by the way, my wife and I own a restaurant.
Right.
you know, we have immigrants that have nursing schools,
Mhm.
that are doctors that are doing their own private practice. You have lawyers, great lawyers. You have social entrepreneurs. So, looking from, they just do a lot of. They're into a lot of entrepreneurial. I mean, are we gonna look into real estate? We have a lot of immigrants that are into real estate.
Mhm.
So they just involve themselves in a lot of businesses
Mhm.
that contributes billions, as I said,
Mhm.
to not just to the not just to Central Ohio, but to Ohio as a whole.
From that picture you just
Mhm.
painted, would one say that immigrants do not have any challenges economically per
Of course,
se?
they do. They
Mm.
do. Just being in a society that, yeah, just like in any other environment, there's definitely challenges.
Mhm.
I can tell you that as a business owner, I have my own challenges. So to say that they don't have challenges is now
Mm.
they all have challenges.
Mhm.
Yes.
Oh, that's interesting,
Yeah.
though. Well, but the commission is here, and hopefully, some of these challenges will be sorted out. But let us come back to this commission. What is the essence of a Columbus Commission on Immigrants and Refugee Affairs?
Yeah, the essence is simple, as I said, to be the intermediary, between the community and the city council,
Mhm.
and look into policies that affects the immigrants. These are immigrants, a lot of them, when we come here. I mean, I came here more than 20 years ago, right? You all immigrants come here with vision. They
Mhm.
come here with work ethic, but sometimes navigating the challenges is very difficult for them. So, you know, um, the commission is meant to basically, be an intermediary between the city council
Mhm.
and the communities in which these immigrants are from.
Mhm.
So that is why when you look at it, you see, the commission, you have people from representing about 20 countries and 15, about 20 countries, and they speak more than 15 languages. So they're taken from all diverse, immigrant community to show that representation, and also to be the intermediary, as I said, between the city council and the people.
Mhm. So far, we only hear about the chair of that commission.
Mhm.
But within that commission, do you also have maybe other roles and responsibilities apart from the chair? Do you have other?
Yeah, we
titles?
have a vice chair. We have a
Okay.
vice chair currently, and at the same time, as our work is really cut out for us.
Mhm.
So as we begin, we're going to be there at some point in the future. There will definitely be some subcommittees, and people will be heading subcommittees that will do the job.
Mm.
Yeah.
Talking about a job, what would be the activities that this commission will be performing?
As I said, being the intermediary, right,
Uh-huh.
between that's the number one task. Looking into policies that affect immigrants. Advocating for immigrants and refugees.
Mhm.
And of course, our first point of order will be coming up with our bylaws that will govern us.
Okay.
So that is the number one thing as we in the next few weeks. That's what we're gonna start. That's what we're gonna be doing. Making sure we have a bylaws that will govern the commission.
Mm. That's interesting. Now we're talking about the Columbus Commission on Immigrants and Refugee Affairs, which has just seen the light of day. That commission is just a couple of days old. It was made public at the Columbus City Council early this week, and its chair is here live on radio telling us more about that commission. Dr. Ba, you agree with me that this is not the first such body that represents the immigrant community here in Columbus, but from observation, the layman, the lay immigrant out there
Mhm.
really does not have an idea of these many bodies, perhaps because they are not properly publicized. But how much of your commission you think will be known by the common man out there?
Yeah, that is why I said our work is cut out for us. Because there's one thing to set up a commission, and you claim that you're doing a job, and there's one thing to reach out to the community. So we are not gonna just sit down. We have to we have to go out and make sure that people are aware of commission does, because most of the time I think education is key, right? You educate people on what the commission is all about, and the roles and responsibility of the commission, and how the commission can be able to. So again, our work is cut out for us, and we need to do. We're gonna do a lot of outreach, so that the layman will know that we are there. We are there for the for the immigrant and refugees in this central Ohio.
Mhm. I'm really hesitating to ask this question, but let me go ahead. Is it
Okay.
too early? Is it too early to start talking about the projects which the commission is earmarking? Otherwise, are you thinking of projects already? Or there are
Yeah,
some in the pipeline?
of course we're thinking about it.
Mm.
Again, as I said at the beginning, our first point of order, or first work of point of action will be, giving ourselves bylaws, and
Okay.
and once that is done, we already have our work streamlined. We already know where we're gonna be heading. But you know, definitely you're gonna hear it in due course, and we will publicize it as soon as everything is solidified.
Mm. So it was a great ceremony at the Columbus City Council with these men and women given this huge responsibility. And I can remember the councilwoman saying that it's definitely not going to be an easy task. It's going to be a
Absolutely.
huge responsibility that will require a lot of commitment.
Absolutely.
But I listened to you, Kinley, on that day, and you said in your address that I come to this role not only as a professional and public servant, but as someone who has navigated the realities of starting over, learning new systems, embracing new cultures, and building the community from the ground up. Can you explain this?
Yeah, that is the essence. That is the essence of being an immigrant, right? You move to a different country,
Mhm.
you have the opportunity of starting all over again, and that is the story of immigrants and refugees. I said that because I lived that experience. Coming to the United States, I had to navigate all this. I don't want to call it a bureaucratic or labyrinth of bureaucracy to get to where I am today.
Mhm.
But there's a lot of changes that I went through a lot of changes,
Mhm.
be it from school, dealing with changing my status and starting a business, learning how to assimilate in a society that, I was kind of, also basically was foreign to me,
Mhm.
So when you look at this, my story is the story of most immigrants.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was why I said that, because you have to navigate a lot of things to get settled. It took me years,
Mhm.
and for any immigrant that is coming here today or that came here 1, 2, 3 years ago, I'm sure they are still learning, how to navigate the system.
Mhm.
So basically that was why I made the comment.
You did navigate the system, but today you apparently you are there. You run a business.
Yes, sir.
You've been to school.
Mhm.
You hold a PhD, which is not small at all.
Absolutely.
Do you think that your story is like hope for other immigrants, especially the ones who are still struggling?
Absolutely. Never lose hope. We as immigrants, when you find yourself in any society, and based on all the immigrants, most of the immigrants I've seen here in Central Ohio, we have a very good work ethic. So sometimes it takes time. So there's no need losing hope. The journey may be long, but at the end of it all, you may, you know, get to there will be light at the end of the tunnel. So never lose hope. And I'm a living testimony of that. Anyways, there's struggle along the ways. There will definitely be bumps along on the road, but you get up and continue. I know it's not easy, it's tough, but at the same time, there will be light at the end of the tunnel.
The road may be bumpy, but at the end of the tunnel is always because it's never easy, but then it takes determination, resilience to get there, which is what Dr. Bath and, of course, members of his commission have been through his life on radio to talk about that commission, which saw the light of day a couple of days ago, and which has picking up the the mountain of command and will definitely ride on to success. I'm going back to your speech again,
Uh-huh.
Dr. Ba, and you also said that you come with deep appreciation for the strength, resilience, and ingenuity of immigrants and refugees who every day contribute to social and cultural vitality of Columbus. What do immigrants do concretely for you to think that they contribute to the social and cultural vitality of the city?
Yeah, I think prior to that comment, I mentioned that they contribute. We have 17%, over more than 17% immigrant and refugee entrepreneurs, and they contribute billions to the economy. That is number one, and they also contribute in the arts. they're contributing, showcasing their cultures. When you look at the Latino Fest, the Asian Festival, we talked about the Columbus African Festival, so also, they help shape the cultural fabric of the society by educating people about, diversity, so those are all the contributions that we should. It may seem very simple, it's just an Asian festival, but you're learning something about the Asian culture, right?
Right.
It's just the African festival. Oh, just go eat, but at least you are learning something about different African foods and different music, different things. It's just a Latino fest, and you're learning that. Oh, okay, we have a lot of people from Latin America, right? And they have different foods and they are different cultures. So educating the public, educating the people about the cultures that these immigrants bring, so that is a way of contributing to the social and economic fabric of Central Ohio.
So you mentioned the councilwoman,
Yes.
Lourdes Barroso de
Padilla.
Padilla,
Yes.
who has been described as the sponsor for this commission. When I saw the word sponsor, it kind of pricked my imagination. What do you mean by that?
Okay, as I said at the beginning, she brought it to someone has to bring something to the city council,
Okay.
right? Yeah, so it's not that she just sponsored it in the way of sponsoring, but she tabled it and it went to vote, and the entire city council saw that, oh, this is really needed, and with the support of all the council members, and they put it to vote. So basically, she presented it to the council, and I think it's just a technicality, it's just a word, but she presented it to the council that this is needed, and they took it and ran with it.
I know your objectives, goals, missions, and so on are properly spelled out, but let's put a timeline to it. Has the commission already started thinking of what the timeline would be like? Maybe in 2 years, this is what we should achieve. Are you thinking in that direction already?
Absolutely. Because as I said, we cannot just go and just sit down. Our work is cut out for us. I can express that. I will our work is really cut out for us. So definitely there are timelines of things that needs to be achieved. As I said at the beginning, we'll definitely keep you posted on that. But yes, we have a vision. We know where we're heading, and at the end of it all, we hope to achieve great strides by the end of the year, at least great strides. Because when you look at it, I mean, the tenor is that some of us are going to be there for 2 years and some of us are going to be there for 3 years. So before you know it, it will be 2 or 3 years as something definitely needs to be done. So we are focused.
Do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and of the state of Ohio and will obey the laws thereof. And will in all respects uphold and enforce the provisions of the Charter and Code of the City of Columbus. And will honestly, faithfully, and impartially abide by all governing bylaws and rules and regulations in the discharge of my duties as a member of the Commission on Immigrant and Refugee Affairs. We're halfway there. In addition, I acknowledge and pledge to adhere to the highest standards of ethical conduct as outlined in the attached document titled City Boards and Commission's Pledge of Ethical Conduct. and Commission's pledge of ethical conduct, which details the city's ethics, laws, and policies.
One is energized. Everyone is passionate about what lies ahead, and just to speak for all the commissioners, we're ready. We're ready for the task ahead, even though it's not going to be easy. But again, we've signed up for it, and it has to be done. So we're all ready and ready to go.
All right, the commission is ready to go, and the community's eyes on the commission as well. And it's about checks and balances,
that's true,
accountability,
yes,
and so on. So we'll be looking forward to your accomplishments, and we will also trail the commission from time to time. We will be back with you on radio,
absolutely,
to tell us exactly what distance you would have covered. But so far, if members of the immigrant community want to get in touch with the commission for one thing or the other, will that be possible? And if that is the case, how can they reach the commission?
Yeah, one thing I want to say is our meetings are going to be is basically public record. Okay. It's going to be so just like when the city meeting, what day city council, commission on immigrant and refugee affairs website. So everything will be spelled out. Transparency. Contact information will be there. If you want to reach out, you have any concerns, ways to contact the commission. So basically everything will be on the site, the website of the City Council Commission on Immigrant and Refugee Affairs website.
And personally, Columbus African Festival,
yes, sir.
Ohio African Chamber of Commerce. Today, Columbus Commission on Immigrants and Refugee Affairs. Dr. Ba, you hate these three bodies.
Yes, sir.
This should be huge response. Now, tell me how do you manage this? Are there times you sit back and you get frightened with this load of work?
Oh, absolutely. Someone asked me last night that I just have a question for you. When do you have time to sleep? I said, well, I just have to. Sometimes you have to do what you have to do, but at the same time, there's what we call self-care. You have to prioritize everything. Is all of them are a huge task. And again, as I said at the beginning, the Columbus African Festival, I'm not the only one. There are other people that are making it happen. I'm just one of many people that makes the Columbus African. So we have a very big team,
right?
And just the same with the Ohio African Chamber of Commerce, we have a very good team of folks that makes that happen. And the same with the commission. It's not just gonna be me. You have 13 more commissioners, that will be doing the job. So I'm just basically a representative. But
do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and of the state of Ohio and will obey the laws thereof. And will, in all respects, uphold and enforce the provisions of the Charter and Code of the City of Columbus. And will honestly, faithfully, and impartially abide by all governing bylaws and rules and regulations in the discharge of my duties.
We will be back with you.
Absolutely.
to get more insights on the commission and how it is faring.
Absolutely.
Congratulations on the good job you're doing.
Thank you.
Do have a fantastic rest of the weekend.
You too. Thank you.
And so for those of you out there, thank you so much for joining us on Apex One Radio this beautiful Saturday. And we'll be back on radio at 5 p.m. today for yet another edition of Going Home. And that will be Diallo Galis Jr. Bayo Mustafa. For me, Ernest Kanjo, it's been a wonderful experience with you this midday on Apex One Radio. Marcel Adig was a producer of this edition of Snapshots. And until we meet again, it's bye-bye from this end. We'll have a fantastic rest of the weekend. God bless you.